Good morning. Can we just take a second to recognize the accomplishments of this weekend from ECFIT athlete, from Trevor Foley. Congratulations, Trevor. Trevor and I have been working together for just about a month, really focusing. We knew that this race was coming up, or that Ironman Lake Placid was coming up. All we focused on for the first 4 weeks was true fundamentals. I mean, obviously, Trevor is an extremely talented athlete, but we just focused on fundamentals, the fundamentals of movement, the fundamentals of mobility, trying to open him up and give him access to what he already has. I often say to athletes when I first start with them, that really is phase one. My job is to open you up and allow you to express the work that you're doing in all your training in a better way. So anyway, everybody just so happy and mind blown for such an incredible performance for Trevor. I'm sure there's going to be lots of good things coming for him in the future, but also, now we can now sit down when he gets back to Boulder and really plan out the rest of the year in a really systematic way. With such a strong athlete, and many of you fall into this category, if you're achieving and you're feeling good, then the job of the mobility and the stability and the strength and the tissue care, not necessarily in that order, is really to just allow you to stay in this really, I'm not going to say safe, because you can't play it safe, right? It's just a really important thing to have in the process, the care of the body, the care of the tissue, and the respect for how the toll it takes on our bodies, the amount of physical stress, emotional stress, mental stress in life. So let's do what we usually do. We'll start with the foam roller down at the lower part of the body. So lower leg injuries and lower leg dysfunction is something that can be really assisted towards the greater good by taking care of the tissue. So we're just windshield wipering through the bottom part of the leg under the calf muscle, so we're not into the calf muscle. We're just working through the lower leg. You can even drag the skin across the foam roller to create a little bit of heat, which in return brings blood flow and the opportunity to hydrate all that lays beneath there, the posterior tib, the soleus, all of it. So we want to just give ourselves the chance to be able to access that tissue, all the different tissue. Okay, let's just point and flex. We'll do a little bit of flossing here. So we'll move the feet, point the toes, bring the feet back, touch the feet, the bottom of the feet together, invert, and then evert. Invert, evert. Point, flex, invert, evert. Point, flex, invert, evert. You want to just make sure that you have access to everything, right? We do that too with the toes. Flex the toes, extend the toes, flex the toes, extend the toes. Good. Now I've got my socks on today. I don't usually have my socks. I can't even see how bad I am at spreading the toes. All right, so spread the toes. See what you got there. I'm really bad at spreading the toes, but I've always been bad at it, so it's not like it got worse. Spread the toes. Good. All right, let's bring it a little further up. Let's take that foam roller. We're going to hit the hammies a little bit. So just above the knee, and right here, we're going to windshield wiper through the hamstring, the lower part of the hamstring as it attaches around the knee. So we're just windshield wipering. That means we're moving the legs one way and then the other. And I can feel on my right side that lateral hamstring is talking to me. It's not screaming at me. It's not like, oh gosh, you have IT band syndrome. None of that. Actually, both sides, lateral hamstring. So that just tells me, pay attention, pay attention. Lateral hamstring helps support, is supported by the IT band and by all the lateral stabilizers, that TFL way up in the hip, as well as the glute med and parts of the glute max. So let's just keep both feet on the ground so we're not crossing over, and let's just work through the lateral part of the hip the glute. And again, it doesn't have to be crazy painful. We don't want it to be crazy painful. What is the pain response? What is the tissue response to pain? It's usually to contract and restrict and fight back. So we don't want to put the tissue under duress. There's enough of that. That will come in training this week. And maybe in some lifting as well. And duress and stress is how we get better. And it's just a matter of managing how much stress can you actually recover from in the process of training. Okay, so just nice and easy. Working through that lateral glute on the right side. And good. And good. All right, we're going to get right up into that upper back. So take that foam roller right below the shoulder blades. From right there, hands behind the head to support the neck. And just hips are on the ground and just extend the spine. If you struggle with this, don't force anything, but just keep the consistency. Try and hit it almost every day. Just a little bit, so just a little bit. Just a little bit of movement. Good. There you go. Just open the elbows, enjoy that little stretch through the chest. As the chest opens up through the upper part of thoracic, also recognize what's opening up through the belly. So start to move the rib cage off the hips and away from the hips, just a little bit of toggling there. And good. Oh, that feels pretty good today. It was a big weekend. All right, so let's take the foam roller. We're going to stay in the full kneeling position. If you're not comfortable in the full kneeling position, two things. First thing you can do is just give yourself a little bit more of a pad from your mat, or you can put a pillow under there, or you can stand up. So if you can handle the full kneeling position, most of you guys should have been getting pretty good used to that by now. Let's do that, all right? From right here, we're going to do a big front raise. Keep the chin into the throat. So we want to keep the ears stacked over the shoulders. And all we're going to do is just extend and open the front side of the body and then come right back out of it. So we're extending the spine, head is in a great stacked position, and then just come back. If some is good, more isn't better. So we're not trying to get you into this big back bend like the Olympics, right? What we're going to see there. That's not the goal. The goal is to create a little bit of tension through the front side of the body with the lats. Because the arms are overhead, the lats are just pulling the ribs up and back. Open the hips, pull the ribs off the hips. Little bit of opening here too. You can load your hips to the back with that hinge. That's the position we're in right now. Nice big inhale. And 3. Big inhale. 4. And 5. Okay, nice job. Let's go into the half kneeling position. So that means we're going to take the left knee up here, right knee is down, and all we're going to do is take the foam roller, even if you have a small one, just keep using it. And if you don't have any kind of foam roller, just move your hands, okay? If you have the foam roller, most of you should have one by now. All right, so all we're going to do is load the front side of the body from the right hip to the left shoulder. And just like this. Left shoulder goes back, right hip comes forward, we come right back. 2, nice movement through the spine. 3, the higher you can get that foam roller, the better. 4, 5, we're going to 10, 6. Right here, big inhale. 8, 9, and 10, and good. Same thing other side, right leg in front of left, left hip. Even just that little bit of rotation here, I can feel that little bit of tightness through my torso, through the separation, the space between the ribs and the hips. If you're doing too many planks, you're not going to be able to separate the ribs and the hips. You're becoming strong, but you're also becoming maybe a little bit too rigid. So you need to train in rotation. So hopefully it's a good sign that you're here today. And we take this down to the left hip, bring that up, right shoulder goes back, left hip comes forward. 2, 3, 10 is our number. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. 9 and 10. Okay, good. We're staying patient today. This is our 90-90 half kneeling position. Let's take that out to 45 degrees. So if you can take it to 90, it doesn't matter, right? So don't be out at 90. You want to be at 45 degrees. First move, keep that foam roller off to the right. What that's going to do is keep you from rotating this way, right? Shoulders square to me. Knee going out at 45 degrees. If you're feeling like it, you can turn away from your knee. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Same thing other side. Again, we're separating the upper and lower body. We want the right knee going that way. We want the left shoulder going this way. Okay? 1, 2, keep that knee out. 3, you're definitely going to feel some tension in the inner thigh. 3, 4, and 5. Next set of 5, we're doing exactly the same movement. We're going to use the foam roller at chest height. We're just going to rotate. Move as one big piece. 2, 3. When we add the foam roller or something else, like I could use a Viper. Sometimes you might wonder what these are. These Vipers can add load to this movement, right? This is a 4K Viper. So we use it as part of the strength routine with ECFIT. Most of my athletes around the world have added Vipers into their training routines. If you're interested to learn more about the Viper, put in the comments, and I will I'll just do a live episode or something, and we'll talk more about the benefit of loaded movement training. It's a pretty exciting modality of training. But when you add tools like a foam roller or a Viper, you end up complicating the movement, and you add rules for the body. So there's more rules here, right? I can't move. If I wanted to be narrower here, I couldn't, because I'm being forced to be out and wide. And sometimes out and wide is a good thing. Sometimes out and wide can be too much for the body, and then we make it smaller until it can get bigger. The whole goal of your movement training is to enhance and expand the movement bubble. So even though in an Ironman, at the end of the race, everybody's movement bubble has gotten quite small. But if you do your mobility training on an ongoing basis, your movement bubble might not get as small as the competition or as everybody else's, and thus you're able to finish the event in a much more comfortable state. And if you're physically comfortable, you're going to be mentally and emotionally much more comfortable, right? So right here, let's just go ahead and hinge. So I want you to use measuring sticks because it makes sure that you're not flexing the spine. Put your thumb on your bottom rib, pinky on your hip bone. We're just pushing the hips straight back. Don't lose the space between the ribs and the hips. 2, 3, and as you push back, right now I'm not getting any pushback or any tugging in my hamstrings. Some of you might be, and don't worry about that, but you're not trying to stretch them. We're just moving to end range, come right back out. But in the meantime, your chest should be up. We're not trying to dive all the way down, right? Just push the hips into a comfortable hinge, come right back out. Good. And good. All right, let's put some rules in place, right? We're still going to stay wide. And what we're going to do is rotate and reach with the right arm. I need my sticky mat. And I want to give you the angled view there so that you can really see. My hinge is not extreme. It's just hinge. Then I'm gonna reach and rotate to the midline. Reach and rotate. So I'm turning my chest to the left and hips are going straight back. So now we're separating the upper and lower body, and we're starting to deal with the right shoulder and the left hip, because when you extend the arm, it's going to add load to that left hip. So we need more activation. 7, I'm giving you all my magic today. 8, 9, and 10. Got to do the other side. I'm going to stay on this side. You want to make sure you're getting that turn. 1. Push the hips straight back. Don't be bending the knees. We're not gliding. 3, 4, 5. I'm still really not getting a lot of hamstring, which means my pelvis is probably in a pretty good position. I did an episode yesterday for my my inner circle of ECFIT athletes, and we really worked on hip mobility, and that seems to, in that session, I can make that free on the ECFIT app today too. I'll do that for you if you want. Do the session. I went actually golfing after my session yesterday, after I taught that live session. I did really well. I think movement in sport is so important. Okay, so let's just sit. We're gonna take the right foot across the left knee, and we're just gonna so right foot across left knee, right arm back, relax onto the right arm, and just a nice gentle twist and hold. From there, I want you to just breathe. Inhale, exhale, expand the rib cage. 3 big breaths. Good. So if you're breathing and you're filling your lungs, your rib cage should be expanding, and that in turn will help mobility with the thoracic spine. Left leg over, relax to the back, okay? Mobility, you're gonna get more from it if you're in a relaxed state of mind. If you're sitting up here all rigid and grabbing your knee, you're gonna be a little bit more in a stressful situation. It's always about staying relaxed. Take the right arm across, 3 big breaths. And good. We're gonna do each side one more time. Right leg across left, right arm back and relax back. Twist just gently. Don't try to overdo anything. We're never really looking for too much end range. We're not looking to force the body into a bubble. It'll just fight back. Just turn and breathe. And good. All right, switch one more time to the other side. Left leg across, relax back onto your left arm, right arm across, gentle twist, little end range hold or just before end range. Nice big breaths, 3 of them. And good. All right, let's get the foam roller out again. We're gonna go a little deeper onto the glutes now that they've been moving a little bit. So you're gonna sit up on the foam roller. We'll start on the left butt. So we're gonna take the left foot onto the right knee and just gently roll through the glute. And now you can get a little bit deeper, a little bit more medial. Once you've got, so I'm on that ischial tuberosity, that glute attachment. It's not the ischial tuberosity, I'm not on that. That's the sits bone. And then we're just gonna roll through that nice and easy. Good, so that's a little pinny. And for me, pinny is not, it can be almost spicy, but it's like there's a scale, right? There's dull, ache, so what is this pressure? And then it might go into, there might be an insult to the muscle, and so it might be a little bit achy. And then it goes into pinny, which might be a little bit more fascially focused. Adhesions, I guess, is a good way to call it. We don't know if it's actually a group of muscle fibers that are actually adhered to each other, but it's a good way to describe it. So when I say adhesions, just know that nobody knows whether they actually are adhesions, but we know that the gentle pressure of a foam roller with most people really helps alleviate some of that feeling of tightness or potentially adhesions, right? Anybody that tells you that they really know for sure what's going on in the fascia probably needs to keep studying more, because what we know is that we don't know a lot. We just know that we're going to try different things to help people move better, right? So the foam roller is one of those tools. And over the last few weeks, we've explored the gua sha tool, we've explored the percussion gun, we've used the stick, we've used a wooden spoon, we've used all kinds of things to help support the tissue along the way. That's all I got for you today. Again, we're celebrating Trevor Foley today and his big win at Ironman Lake Placid 2024. And we're also starting to get really excited about the Olympic Games. Saturday morning here in the US, Taylor Knibb, ECFIT athlete, will be racing the time trial, the USA Cycling time trial. So representing the US in the Olympic Games in the time trial Saturday morning. I'll put more information out on social media for Taylor. I will actually be in Paris next Monday, so I will be pre-recording a very special episode for you for next week. I'll pre-record it here in Boulder, but it'll be there for you on Monday. I hope you have an amazing week. Keep doing these. There's over 150 episodes of mobility, guys. You can and should be doing this mobility daily, every single day, right? You can use the YouTube as a guide, or you can just be remembering a lot of these things and just make sure you're taking care of yourself. Thanks for coming. See you later.